And thank you so much for tuning in. This is Smart 24 TV, and we drive your business. We're talking personal development. Quite a number of things have been mentioned in regards to personal development, what it really is all about, and the fact that this is up to everyone. It's not about your parents, it's not about your boss, it's personal. It's up to you to actually get to make the first step. But Council Judy,
yes,
when we look at organizational setup and of course our working environments, there are things that hinder personal growth. People are not challenged sometimes. People are given tasks the same way every now and then, and they feel it's a monotony. And then now here we are talking about personal growth. This is someone who has been working for a company. And of course, they're not going to quit because it's their job and it's feeding their kids.
Yes.
But they want also to develop personally. First of all, to the leaders, the business leaders, what would you tell them in as far as creating opportunities for personal development for their employees is concerned?
The debate has always been around how much you can demand of a person who gave you a job. Yeah. A lot of times young people may be presumed entitled for expecting some of those things that you're seeking for me to talk about. But yes, as a leader in any institution, you're tasked with the responsibility of those that you employ. You're tasked with the responsibility for their growth to a certain extent, because if you don't grow them, they're going to affect your business. Right? So you will continue to have stagnated people in your business, in your organization, and the results will what? Will show. The primary thing about leaders is that they should be able to develop other leaders. If you're a leader in your organization and people aren't developing, and you're the only person at the top, and you've not reproduced yourself, there is a problem. So leaders reproduce leaders, and that should be one of the markers of your what? Of your success, apart from the bottom line, right? So the first thing that I think a leader should do is put up a system, yeah, that enables communication. Right, communication between the people that you're onboarding and you as a leader.
Yeah.
You must be able to know at all points where your people are and how you can meet them halfway.
Yeah.
So communication, which we've just talked about, is important, because then you would be able to know people's needs. You'd be able to know their level. Yeah, you'd be able to know their growth, what they want to grow, what they want to grow in. So one, you must have an open door communication policy. You must be approachable. Yeah, you must be able to allow people to communicate with you. Yeah, so you create a culture where people aren't afraid to ask for help, where people aren't afraid to communicate their needs. So open door policy, communication, is very, very key for a leader.
Yeah.
Once you've established a culture where people are not afraid to communicate, yeah, their needs, you will also be in turn able to communicate, right? So then we move on to the second thing. Have one, as a leader, communicate or create an open door policy. Two, create room for development of your staff. Yeah, that means if you have an HR unit, make sure that the HR unit is constantly on its toes and in trying to create new opportunities for the staff to grow, right? So we tend to have HRs and we think it's about hiring and firing and hiring and firing, but HR these days are called talent managers. Yeah? So how are you managing talent? Talent must grow. Yeah, just like the world changes every other day, even the aspects of your talent must change. Yeah, you must develop. So you must, as an institution, have a plan and a budget. Yeah, for courses, for opportunities, for trainings, for your staff. And that way you're empowering managers to be able to identify the needs, yeah, of the people within the institution. Remember, if you don't train them and you're stuck with them, you will see the results. Yeah. So it must be part of your development plan. that we must develop our staff. Yeah, it costs money. Yeah, and sometimes it takes time as well, but the result is something you will like.
Yeah.
But you don't have to think about it in terms of the cost. You can start where you are. If I am a leader, investing in learning and investing in training can mean that I mentor. Mentorship, apprenticeship has always been the classic way to pass on skills. Yeah, that's why professionals like us apprentice. Yeah, lawyers apprentice, architects apprentice. You learn the skill from the person, right? Doctors. So if it looks costly to pay for a trip to another country to learn something, to pay for a postgraduate course for staff, you can mentor.
Yeah.
You can mentor. Be intentional about it and say, this is what I am good at, this is how I can teach it, and start to be intentional about mentorship. And mentorship is not surface. Yeah, it could be at the skill level, the work I give you, the clients I expose you to, but it could also be at a personal level. If Anthony has come to me, this is the first time he has entered the CBD, the Central Business District, and I can mentor him in his personal finances. I can tell him, you're straight out of school, you'll be tempted to squander the money. Let's put some money in savings. Yeah, let's, you can start a savings club at your institution or a circle, right? So leaders must be intentional about teaching and training, which could also look like mentorship, right? And it can develop into the personal aspects of a person's life by looking at teaching them those things that you wish as an adult someone had told you much earlier. Yeah, start a circle to teach them about their finances. Take that extra step, but that means that you must be interested in people. Because only a person who loves people would be able to take that extra mile. So if you are a leader out there, granted we have personality types, granted we have personal space, but we must be interested in the people that help us achieve the targets that we seek to achieve. So mentorship should be the easiest way a leader can actually help and ensure that skills are passed on. Yeah, mentorship can even be as simple as, I'm keeping Anthony in copy. I'm letting him lead the client engagement. Yeah, when I see that there's something wrong, I come to him and say, this is how we can handle it. This is how we should be doing it. So mentorship is the simplest and the cheapest. Yeah, because all it requires you is to take an interest in someone else other than you. So we've talked about open door policy, allowing a culture of communication. We've talked about investing in the talent unit, trainings. We've talked about mentorship. Now the big investment, investing in your people, could also mean, putting aside some money, some funds, to actually cater to the next level development. It's not affordable for all staff, but you can use it as a motivation. We talked about motivation, right? Motivation could look like, if you're a best performing staff or the top 5 performing staff, can be sponsored for further education, can be sponsored for trainings, can be sponsored for something that adds value to the institution and to the individual. Remember, when you train them, they will provide better services to you. And you will also build a certain level of trust and loyalty, which creates the beginning of a good relationship.
Absolutely.
Yes. So for leaders, I think there's so much they can do, but the first and most core is your strategy should always include development of people. If nothing in your strategy or budget speaks to development of people, then there is a core problem. Now, for the young people out there who probably aren't as lucky to work for institutions like Smart 24, or who aren't as lucky to have structured organizations where such things are more likely to happen, personal initiative is always very important. So if I'm working in Chikubo and I'm working for a tradesman, yeah, personal initiative may look like inquiring and knowing how the trade is carried out, from the process of purchasing the stock to stock taking to distribution, knowing all the channels. So personal initiative is always very important when you are at a disadvantage, or in the industry you're in, or in the setup that you're in, or if you're not employed and you're at home. Then also knowledge, yeah, seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
A lot of times people sit and wait to be helped, to get a job, to be helped to do anything.
To write your CV.
Yes, to write your CV. But how about you seek knowledge? Yeah, seek knowledge. There's YouTube. We like to go to YouTube to watch videos, but there are YouTube videos on how to do a CV.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are YouTube videos on how to shoot a documentary. There are YouTube videos on pretty much anything under the sun, right? Yeah. So rather than sitting and waiting for the job, how about you skill yourself as you wait for the job? There's even a YouTube channel on legal proceedings, you know? Yeah, they're there.
So you could
right?
become a YouTube lawyer.
Exactly. You could become a YouTube lawyer. You could start telling people about the things you learned in law school. And YouTube will pay you if you have about 2,000. So it's creativity and knowing that adversity must be the mother of what? Of invention. So also young people at an individual level must be interested in skilling themselves, looking for those opportunities. So that means when you're on LinkedIn, don't just like Anthony's page, look at the scholarship opportunities that are probably there, because a lot of times we don't have the revenue to develop ourselves, but there are so many organizations that have made it as simple as write an application. Tell us,
no one really cares.
Write an application, tell us that you have these skills, you want to learn this, and we will sponsor it.
Yeah.
So we cannot keep sucking our thumb and blaming the state and blaming our family lineage and blaming so many things. Even at the back of your house, there's some soil. You can plant something and sell it. So we must seek knowledge. Seeking knowledge will enable us to have access, to the opportunities we seek. Seeking knowledge will also help us plan, If I want to apply for, let's say, chefing, I know the cycle. I have seen all the interviews online. I have planned around it. So it helps me plan, it helps me know what to do. And then lastly, which should have really been the first, is believe in yourself. We have to believe in ourselves.
We've heard that so many times. What does it mean to believe in yourself? Believing
in yourself means trusting you as an individual, to show up and to be the best. Because God made you fearfully and wonderfully. He made you fearfully and wonderfully. So believing in yourself means I am important, I have a purpose, and there's a contribution that is coming out of me to my family, to my economy, to my country, to the world. I am uniquely made, so there is something within me that I have to contribute. So whatever it is, in whatever capacity it is, I have a contribution. So believing in myself means whatever it is that God has created me to do, I am able to show up and do it regardless of the circumstances. And it may not materialize in one day, it may unfold with revelation over time, right? So believing in yourself means if Anthony doesn't, rather than seeking external validation, of what you can do or who you are, you have to know yourself to say, I can do this, I can do that, or I am starting and I'm not stopping until I collide with purpose, until I get into the right job. I will show up, I will be present. So
a lot of things, there are many things you can't do if you don't believe in yourself. So that's the fundamental. So that you're not seeking validation from anybody else, but actually having the confidence that if I learn a thing, I will be able to implement it, I'll be able to sell it, I'll be able to do it. So it can look like, if I am a young boy in the ghetto and I want to dance, but I don't have access to TV, I don't know a lot of dances, I'll start with where I am. I'll start with where I am because I know that it's something I do that is within me, not something that Anthony gives me, but it's within me. So the things that Anthony can give me will find me on my way.
Explored yourself.
Yes, in my journey, because I've already agreed with myself that I will dance. I will be a ghetto kid and I will get there. So when someone sees me dancing in the ghetto, they'll be like, let me add him some value. Let me take him to a studio somewhere and teach him some more. But you're already doing it on your own because you've agreed with yourself that I have a talent, I have a skill, I have a purpose, I have set out some goals. So believing in yourself is just not seeking outside validation, but understanding that I have set out to do X and I will achieve it. With whatever resources I have, I will start where I am.
So you can't go far
without actually believing in yourself.
Finally, one other question. What are some of the barriers that hinder personal development? We grow up in different environments and some people say you're the average of the five people you spend time with. And when you look at some people that have ruined their character, sometimes this has been due to their, maybe friends or peers. But in terms of personal development, what are some of those things that can suffocate those things we have talked about, nurturing your self-confidence, nurturing your other soft skills like communication, other talents like dancing? What are some of those suffocating factors that can actually be avoided in order to do personal development?
Attitude and mindset. I'll start there. Attitude and mindset,
because those are up here, and
you have control over them.
You have control over them. You always start with the things you can control. The things I can't control. I can't control whether you like me or not. I can't control whether you give me a promotion or not. But my personal attitude and my mindset, that I can control. And it goes back to the conversation. The key word is personal. So mindset is personal and attitude is personal. If I have a good attitude, if I have a growth mindset, I will actually make the endeavors. I will be curious. But if I have a helpless attitude, if I have a negative attitude, if I have a bad mindset, I will continuously make excuses. I will continuously not show up. I will
Smart 24, driving